Corporate venture capital is a little bit different in that it's a strategic investment, right? When you think about venture capital and other traditional institutional investors, there's really one thing at the end of the day, and it's ROI, right? Return on investment. They're managing a fund. That's what they have to deliver to those that have paid into that fund, and they need to maximize it at all cost. Sometimes even at an individual founder's cost, because of whatever reason. You got to remember it's a portfolio they're managing. If one thing's taking off, they may not want to double down on another thing that is not. Whereas corporate venture capital, those decisions are made strategically, meaning something about your technology, your solution fits with them more strategically. So it doesn't sound like you're missing any of your numbers or having any challenges, but if you do, sometimes that can be a more pleasant interaction with those types of investors, whereas
Absolutely.
that will not be pleasant with your traditional investors. So if you're fit for it, I always encourage founders to pursue that avenue.
Yeah, they tend to be a lot of like evergreen funds, very patient capital. They have a vested interest also in you succeeding with your engagement with the BU.
Yep.
I'm a huge fan of corporate venture capital, and it's always fascinating also looking at the history of it too. Like for example, Intel Capital, one of the first, CVCs. They just had all this cash on their balance sheet, right? And as a big company also, the shareholders are going to ask you, right? Like, what are you doing with all that cash? Why not pay dividends? Why not,
Yep.
what are you doing with that balance sheet there? And and they found a way to to use that balance sheet more strategically, and especially the early days of Intel Capital, they were investing in companies that were going to drive up usage and sales of their CPUs. You see a lot of this with NVIDIA now, a lot of their investments, and
Yep.
that I guess I won't go on the rant about that
Yep.
kind of circular motion there, but I really fascinating and really just nice people to work with.
Yeah, and it's a good fit all around, like you said, the synergy, because the other thing is, historically, large corporations aren't that great at innovating themselves.
Yeah.
So it also solves for that, because these are innovative companies that do want to be involved in innovation, but maybe let a semi-independent founder take care of that without all the corporate bureaucracy and all of the things that can kind of stagnate or constrain innovation.